the Community Action Network works to reduce poverty, revitalize low-income communities, and empower low-income families and individuals to become more self-sufficient. The CSBG national goals focus this effort, and Results-Oriented Management and Accountability, or ROMA, is the performance management framework community action agencies use to meet our goals and hold ourselves accountable for the actual results we are producing. The ROMA framework gives us tools such as the ROMA Cycle, logic models, outcome scales, and outcome matrices. In this video, we'll briefly introduce you to some of these tools and important ROMA concepts. The first tool we'll talk about is the ROMA Cycle. Agencies use this process to keep an emphasis on high-quality performance and achieving results. The cycle is made up of 5 phases: assessment, planning, implementation, achievement of results, and evaluation. In the assessment phase, you gather data on community needs and resources, and agency data. In the planning phase, you use your agency mission statement and the data you gathered during the assessment phase to identify outcomes you want to realize and the services and strategies you will use to achieve those outcomes. In the implementation phase, you put your services and strategies into action, producing results or outcomes. In the achievement of results phase, you observe and report on the progress of your desired outcomes. In the evaluation phase, you analyze data and compare it to the benchmarks. Although this is a cycle, and one phase naturally follows the one before it, you can move back and forth between the phases as needed. The next tool we'll look at is a ROMA logic model. There are 7 steps to building a ROMA logic model. Step 1. Identify the needs and resources in our community. Categorize the needs by individual/family, community, or agency level need. Step 2. Identify your intended outcome. Draft an outcome statement that is the opposite of your needs statement. Step 3. Use your outcome statement to plan services and strategies. Step 4. Create a way to measure your outcomes. These are called outcome indicators. Step 5. The case record will provide the data for our outcome indicators. Step 6. Determine who is responsible for collecting the data and how or where they will find it. Step 7. Determine how often the data will be collected, reported, and analyzed. Let's look at an example. Step 1. Our need is that families are homeless. Step 2. Our intended outcome is that emergency shelter will be provided. Step 3. Our outcome statement is homeless families obtain emergency shelter. Step 4. Our outcome indicators are 50 of 50, or 100% of homeless families obtain emergency shelter lasting no longer than 30 days. Step 5. The case record will provide the data for our outcome indicators. Step 6. The case manager will update the case record when the family enters the shelter. Step 7. A daily report will be emailed to the CAA. If you've noticed, both the ROMA cycle and logic model emphasize outcomes. So what do we mean by an outcome? An outcome is the result of the service and describes how people's lives were changed. In contrast, a description of a service is called an output. For example, if an agency reported that they gave 50 boxes of food, this is an output statement. An outcome would be, we reduced hunger in our community, or improved the nutrition of families in our community. A simple way to think about an outcome versus an output is, an outcome is a change or accomplishing something, an output is a service or doing something. So what if you aren't in a position to verify your outcomes? In our food box example, you may not be able to follow up with recipients to say whether their nutrition improved or not. In cases like this, you may use what is called a proxy outcome. Proxy outcomes may be used when the actual outcome is supported by previous research. The outcome is recognized and accepted to be related to this service because of established research, and the client is eligible for the service, and research shows a link with the expected outcome. That said, it is best to avoid using proxy outcomes in favor of measurable outcomes. Now that we have a better idea of what an outcome is, let's look at how the concept of outcome works in the ROMA model. For example, outcomes play a big role in the planning phase of the ROMA cycle. In the planning phase, you are deciding what strategies and services you will offer. Your outcome statement is like your destination. The services you offer are like the roads you take to get to your destination. An example might look like this. Families do not have financial management tools. An outcome statement might be, families have financial management tools and are able to start saving. With this goal in mind, your agency may offer services like budgeting classes or debt counseling. Outcomes are also key in using the ROMA logic model. In step 4, you are identifying your outcome indicators. This means adding some specifics to your outcome statement. Outcome indicators not only further focus your goals, they also provide metrics to measure your success. To create outcome indicators, you first determine how many people will participate in or receive the service. Second, you project how many of these people might achieve the outcome. And third, you will project a time frame. Using our financial management example, your outcome indicators might look like 20 out of 30 families will start contributing to a savings fund within 1 year. If you need further examples of outcome indicators, you can start by reviewing modules 3 and 4 of the CSBG annual report. ROMA tools, principles, and practices, when fully implemented, will bring greater efficiency and make a positive impact on the community.